So today's topic is happiness.
Woo!
I'm going to start
'Kay.
this topic by saying a statistic that I found.
Okay.
So research suggests that 40 to 50% of our happiness is genetic, meaning we inherit that shit. So some people are just naturally more upbeat than others. And I think that is you and me.
I agree. That's actually really interesting genetically. And I think that goes back to two things off the top of my head. One, I was talking to a friend about adoption recently, and I was sharing with her my thoughts on just like behavioral genetics, that like you can be like the most loving, amazing parents, but like your baby is going to have the genetics of their parents or their, and so
that shit matters.
That's just interesting with like the happiness. I also was catching up with a guy friend on Saturday, and he's kind of had like a lot of shifts in his life and like a lot of shit happen. And I was like, well, are you feeling happier? And then he kind of looked at me, and I was like, you know what? Maybe the word happy is overused, and like, let's use the word joyful. Like, are you feeling more joyous? And he was like, yeah, it's actually an interesting way of thinking about it, because like I do feel joy, but I don't know if I'm happy.
Oh, that's okay. So for you personally, how would you define happiness?
So I think for me, over the last like 5 years, I really waffled with like happiness equaling peace. Do I feel at peace? And if I feel peace and I feel calm, then I thought that equals happy. I have now this year feel like I've had the like egg crack, where to me happy is like, I went to a workout today. It was fucking great. I feel happy. I got my matcha. I feel happy. I was productive at work. I got to see you. I listened to Sabrina Carpenter. I watched Addison Rae music video, talked to my mom. I feel happy.
Yeah.
And so I think I'm trying to find micro moments that equal happiness versus like if I look at like my life, I'm like, oh, there's all these things that like I want to accomplish and I want to do and I haven't done them yet. And like, does that mean I'm not happy?
But see, thinking about your future is hindering your happiness in the present.
Yeah.
So that's something to consider. I think finding joy in little moments is so important, that contributes to happiness. And I think that is one of the contributing reasons I'm so happy, because I literally, anything can make me so happy. Like the smallest thing, the big things also, of course, but I'm just a happy-go-lucky person. And I wonder as well, it's definitely for me very genetic. My parents are like the happiest people ever.
Yeah.
I also think it's cultural. I think there are some fucking miserable cultures, like the UK. I'm sorry, I love you guys, but like Brits are miserable. And I inherited some of that misery and then quickly snapped out of it. And I think there are some like even Americans, I meet a lot of miserable Americans, and they have on paper like everything. I think it's so cultural, and I think I've said this before, but especially cultures that are developing, because there's not that sense of competition. It's like, well, we're not going to be rich anyways. Like there's only a ceiling that we can kind of reach. You don't feel pressure. Like you're not trying to achieve constantly like things that are so unattainable. Yeah. So you're just happy with the things that you do have.
You had said something on a previous pod where you're like, I have a list of things on my phone that like I like to do like for each day, like kind of like mini goals.
Yep.
And I remember you had said like, I like to get a coffee. And then I thought like, oh, you know, I like having my routine to get my coffee because it brings me joy. And I forget who, but someone was like, oh, like if you add $9 times 7 times 52 weeks. I'm like, no.
It's bringing you so much happiness. It brings me so much happiness.
It brings me joy.
Those are my non-negotiables. And I didn't make that list with the thought of like what makes me happy. It was just more of like, because everything in my life is a list. And I never want to forget the things that I want to do every day, which is read, no matter what it is, whether it's a newspaper, an article, a blog, a Substack, part of my book. I'm always reading a book. I need to read every day, because that is one of the things that enables me to get in a flow state. And as someone who cannot meditate, being in flow states is really important for me.
Yeah.
And I can do that with certain activities like reading. But it's minute things. It's like reading, it's getting a coffee, it's moving my body. It doesn't have to be a workout, but just like going for a walk, even if it's 20 minutes. It's speaking with my parents in a form, like whether that's a text or that's a phone call. It's you know, being grateful, whether that's a thought or writing it down, or, you know, And then I think I had things to do with like people, like being nice to people, giving back in some way.
Yeah.
And
have you ever felt like if you give someone a compliment and you see how happy it makes them, you like get the energy back? Because sometimes when I'm feeling like I'm having a hard day, I will be like, oh my God, I love your skirt to someone, or like, oh, like your eyeshadow looks so cute. Yeah. And like, I feel like people get so much happiness that then it makes me feel so happy. So yeah.
I think that's a very natural attribute to us, that we just like speaking things and we like saying things. Yeah. So for example, I was actually talking to my wife about this over the weekend. I am someone who I'm not scared to ask people things, whether that's bad or good. Mm-hmm. So, I was using you as an example.
Okay.
Because remember the boy that you dated that was like not dated, you didn't date him. He was dyslexic and you were helping him with his homework. And at one point I just turned to him and I was like, are you dyslexic? And she's like, you can't just ask people that. And I'm like, why not? Like, it's just the same as if someone goes, are you gay? And I'm happy to ask anyone. I'm like, are you gay? Are you dyslexic? Like, do you have OCD? Like, do you have ADHD? Like, are you fucked up? Like,
well, because when you asked him if he was dyslexic,
I mean, he wrote could as COOD.
The homework was getting a bit arduous for me.
But my point is, I am not scared to say things to people. Yeah. I think that also when you open a gate with them of being like, you just want to ask them shit. Like, they feel comfortable to talk to you.
Yes.
And she's like, you can't just ask people things. And I'm like, that's just who I am. Like, that is so inherent to me. But on that note, it's like, I also say good things. Like, I am not scared to say something good to someone. Like, I'm like, I think you're so, like, I go up to fucking girls and I'm like, I think you're so pretty. And not in a weird way. Like, I don't want to fuck them. I'm not attracted to them. But I'm like, you are stunning. Or like, you're so intelligent. Or like, I love your outfit. And like, I don't know if I do that to receive something back from it, like to feel good, but of course it makes you feel better.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah.
But on the definition of happiness, I think you kind of touched on what it is for you. There is an academic, an author that I like. He's called Arthur Brooks. And for him, he defines happiness as, it's kind of like an equation for him, which is enjoyment plus satisfaction plus meaning. For me, enjoyment is a big part of my happiness. Like, I hate to say it, like, I just enjoy life, and I will never delay gratification. You know when they do those studies with kids where they're like, oh, if we put a marshmallow, if you could have it later, you'd have two. I'm like, no, I'll have one now.
Yes.
Because I could be dead in 2 minutes.
Yes.
And then I won't have my 2 marshmallows. Yes. I am not one to delay gratification.
Yes.
In fact, you know the saying, like, work hard. Same. Like, I am not delaying any gratification.
Yeah.
You know the saying, like, work hard, play hard? My personal saying to that is play hard, work hard. Yeah. I always play first, and then I get back and I'm like, oh, now I have to do the work.
This. Yeah.
But I will always play first. Like,
yeah. I love gratification, and I
love gratification.
Like, if I have a day where I don't really have gratification, then I'm like,
what's the point of living?
Yeah, I'm like, ew, this sucks.
But I think the key here is that we are people that are able to find the gratification in the smallest of things.
Yes.
Like, any little thing for me will be a massive win. Mm-hmm. I love life. I think everything's a miracle. Like, I know this sounds so gay. I shouldn't say gay in like a derogative term. I can't believe I just did that. I know this sounds so gay.
When you said it, I was like,
please don't cancel me. I'm not a bigot. I'm gay. But sometimes it's just fun using that term derogatively. No, I'm joking.
There was a TikTok about like people who have issues using their issues, like saying like, oh, like that's autistic when they are autistic.
Yeah,
to like put people on the spot.
Okay?
Yeah, to like fuck with them. So yeah. That's just what you were doing.
This sounds really lame, but I went on like a 1 hour and a half walk yesterday, which I do often when I don't want to lift weights. And I went
They say walking's better than running for burning fat.
I mean, the fat's not going anywhere no matter what I do. So I was walking and I went through this path with these fucking amazing flowers. Yeah. And I just stopped there. And I know it sounds like cliche. And I stopped and I smelled the flowers and I was looking at the flowers and I took a picture of them and put it on my ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And I was like, which flowers are these?
Aww.
And like, I'm like, what am I doing? But it just shows so much enjoyment. Like, I just thought those flowers were the most beautiful thing ever. And again, I know this sounds so silly, but since I got LASIK and I can see in HD, everything is so sharp.
Yeah.
So like, the flowers yesterday were so sharp. I was like,
Yeah.
The definition here is really good.
So my grandpa, he always used to say like, God, it's a beautiful day, or like, look at the mountains. And as a kid, I'd be like, that's weird. And then my boyfriend, on one of our first dates, we went on a walk and he was like stopping and smelling all the flowers. And I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, this is just the most beautiful flower. Like, do you smell the jasmine? And I remember being like kind of judgy and thinking that's weird, where now I try to remind myself of like the happiness in small moments.
Yeah. I also just think we are living like a miracle. Like this is such a miracle that I'm just amazed by everything. Like I'm amazed. Yeah. Honestly, every day I'm amazed by things. Like I don't get how we function.
Yeah.
And work as like society.
Oh,
and like
I was thinking about this on my flight yesterday because like I just had such a long last 2 days with work stuff, and I got home and I was like, I am so tired. And then I was like, wait, I didn't have any flight delays. There was no traffic. We landed early. They didn't lose my bags. Like everything was fucking perfect. So why am I being a little biatch? And I think it's just a reminder because I was like, wow, it's pretty cool. In 48 hours, I just went to a new state, came back, had literally no travel hiccups, had an amazing time, and now I'm sitting back in my home.
Yeah, like that's what I mean. Like things just work. I think life is a miracle. So
you're a miracle.
Oh, thank you. I'd like to think I am.
You are.
You know, this is again also going to sound insane because no one says this shit, but someone the other day over the weekend, they were like, you know, you're granted they were high on mushrooms, so whatever.
Was this my boyfriend telling you this?
No, that was someone else that was high on mushrooms, and on a different day. I did a few mushrooms over the week. So they were like, you know, you are extraordinary. And instead of saying thank you, I just went, I know.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I know.
So I want to encourage anyone that's listening, stop saying thank you and just being like, fuck yeah. So like when people are like, you have perfect straight teeth, I'm like, yeah, I know. I had braces for literally 9 years or something. Yeah. Like, I know.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need to be like, oh, thank you.
I will say thank you if it's novelty. If it's something new, like I'll be like,
I love that you said I know.
I know. And they were like, yeah, you shouldn't. Yeah. So there's that. But another
something that I know this is an old thing people say, but I want to start saying it, but I don't know if it's like me cosplaying as Gen Z, is when you say something and then I would say period.
So I like that.
Okay.
Another psychologist, he distinguishes between 3 different types of life to reach happiness. So one is the pleasant life, which I think we can relate to enjoyment. So like having pleasure, comfort. One is the engaged life, which is using strengths, using kind of flow to, you know, help. And then related to that is the meaningful life. So something bigger than yourself. And I think, although I'm a very happy person, and I don't think about this too often, like I'm not losing sleep over it, but because I haven't had kids yet, or I might never have them, I just want to find a way to make more meaning, like to help people more, or like really serve a greater purpose than myself. It's hard to do if you don't have kids, because I feel like having kids is such an easy way to find purpose in life. And this is also something I've been thinking about. I had this conversation with my mum. We were kind of going deep in on motherhood and, you know, why do people have kids, or how should I know? She was like, well, the thing about having kids is that it's a really easy way for you to find purpose, because you don't think about what the purpose of your life is. You just have to keep a kid alive, and that is your purpose. So it kind of dawned on me, is that why everyone has kids? It's just because it's like the easiest way to find purpose.
So this past weekend, I saw some people that had kids, and they were just like talking about how they were partying, their life kind of fell out of control, and like they got married and then they were traveling, they're spending money. And then they were like, well, we're having a kid, so now we have to get a house. We have to save money. Like it put boundaries and parameters on their life.
It gives you direction.
Now they have to go to bed early because they have a kid. Now they like can't be willy-nilly like with their spending or like their decision making. And I was like, thinking the same thing that you just said. I was like, whoa, is everyone having a kid to put a boundary to be like, this is what controls?
Yes, I think it's like gives your life direction. And so maybe, again, I had this epiphany. What if the people who don't have kids, they're the real heroes, because they're navigating life, trying to find purpose without having one, trying to make meaning without having this obvious meaning-making little thing that is going to give your life so much meaning.
Yeah.
And they're trying to find happiness without a manual, without a playbook.
When I think of my life and I'm like, okay, if I didn't have kids, because say that's like my path, what would give me purpose? And I think what makes me the happiest is like, I just love girls and I love women and I love seeing them win. And I'm like, if I could just like find a way to fire up women and like remind them of their self-worth and get them excited about everything that they can do or they can do and they don't want to do, that would give me purpose.
But also, to go even deeper on that point, is like, do we even need purpose? Like, everyone's obsessed with the idea of purpose. Everyone's obsessed with finding the purpose to their livinghood and to find meaning in their life. And it's like, are we too obsessed with that? Okay. Is it simpler than that we're just living and we die and we can have fun in between and try and accomplish some things, but do we even need purpose? Like, do we need this?
So tell me how you feel about this. If it's a Saturday, say you're a little hungover or you didn't sleep or you're just tired and it's a beautiful day. Like the birds are chirping, there's a breeze, it's sunny, and you're just like, I'm gonna order Uber Eats, I'm not gonna leave my bed, and I'm gonna watch TV all day for like 10 hours and just binge watch. Do you feel guilty?
No.
So I do not at all. And a lot of people I know will say like, oh, I wasted the day. Or like, I just don't want to waste a perfect day.
But how are you wasting the day when you're doing exactly what you want to do?
Yes.
I am someone who does exactly what she wants to do. I do not feel bad about doing what I want.
Yes.
And I'm like Margot from The Hunting Wives. Again, I'm going to mention it again because I love it. Like, I think life is so short to not do what you want to do. And I think people often, in order to like fuel their purpose obsession, put themselves in these positions to kind of find meaning that actually it's like they're going against what they truly do want. Yeah. Maybe they're scared.
Well,
we talked about this morning.
Yeah. Like with the stupid weather example, when someone I've been with has said like, well, I don't want to waste the day like and be lazy. I'm like, so you're letting the sun dictate your own like body's needs for rest? And then that kind of parlays to like what we were talking about this morning, where it's like, if you feel like your purpose is X, which is usually manifested by like outer world opinions and like people in your life giving you those opinions and it creating your own boundary and own purpose that isn't even manifested by yourself. It's manifested by what others' thoughts are that then you feel like you have to execute against, right? Because you don't want to be disappointing.
Right.
Like I think a lot of people's life paths are made that way and then they reach a certain point in their older life where they spiral out and they're like, what the fuck? This isn't even what I wanted. And that's like this joke about like a midlife crisis or quarter life crisis or whatever people are having. But I think when we look at some people that we know, they're not even living their authentic life to be happy because they're so scared of what other people will think.
Yeah. And I read something recently, which was also like, how do I know I'm living an authentic life? And a really good way to know that is if no one was watching you, your parents, your friends, if no one could see what you're doing, what would you be doing? The only thing I could think of was like OnlyFans.
I think about it all the time.
Like, I'm like, oh, if I didn't have...
I think about it all the time.
I think it would be so fun.
I would literally peak.
Yeah.
So would you.
I know.
I wish. Like, honestly, I think about it so much where I'm like, I wish that I could do that, but I just can't.
Yeah, but we'd have fun.
Do you think we would do content together?
No. You're not my type. Jesus Christ. All my friends have this obsession with being like, always, am I cute? Like, always, would you kiss me?
Always.
I'm like, no.
I'm just needy for your affection.
You have it, but not like that.
Remember? Wait, this is just stupid because we were talking about like kissing, which has nothing to do with this. But like, what about when you slept over on Saturday and the alarm went off and I went running to you naked?
Yeah, and I was like...
No, because you looked at me. You were just like, turn the alarm.
It's like, just get the alarm.
You were like, you're naked.
I turn real straight when I see my friends naked. I get so asexual for my friends. Like, I'm like, like I can't do it. Ew.
Stop.
I don't know what it is. Like, I just don't find friends attractive in that way. Like, I think they're objectively attractive. Like, they're very hot.
We get it. You don't think we're cute.
Okay, relating to that, the Harvard study of adult development said they actually did the longest running study on happiness, which spanned 80 plus years. And they have found that actually relationships, whether that's friendships, whether that's family, whether that's romantic, is the strongest predictor of health and happiness. I could not agree more.
I think that's also a really cool study because it's important with building community. And I feel like I know a lot of people who, even like when you start a new job and you don't know anyone, it can make the stress feel worse because like you don't have like a little pod or a community. I think what I've always loved is who I surround myself with friend-wise. When I hang out with them, I always get energy and they re-inspire me. Yeah. And even if it's like a quality that like we're not similar, but I see them doing something, it gives me like adrenaline and like fires me up for my own life. And I do think that's who your community is can make your life better and easier, or it can make it worse. And that's why I think also like a lot of women specifically, if you don't have good friends and you have like frenemies, your happiness would go down.
Yeah. I think your relationships are everything, whether that's family, friends, like lovers, like relationships are really like I get so much happiness from people. It's quite unreal.
I just got a little chill when you said it.
I adore people. I love people. Like I just my friends, everyone, I adore them. And like things like money, for example, obviously there are so many studies out there and so many podcasts about this. Like, does money bring you happiness? And I can't remember which study it was, but basically there's been plenty as well. They found that it brings you more happiness because of the security up to a certain point. So let's say once you're earning like 150K, that actually does affect your happiness. But after a certain point, it does not have any change, which is also why I think, why do people need to be billionaires? After about 10 million, after about a million, after about 200K, you're good. Nothing's going to change, whether you have 1 yacht or 10 yachts. Like,
I feel like you actually get more depressed.
It does. It's actually like it's a bell. It goes down because then it also brings more issues. And I will attest, like I do think being in a financial position, I mean, I'm by no means financially free. That would be lovely. But, you know, I don't have to think about whether I can afford a dinner. I don't have to think about whether, you know, I don't have to think about money like day to day because I can do like the basic things and even spoil myself with some nice things too. Like that has just eliminated such a stressful component to my life that obviously when you're just starting out, when you're young, you do have. And then also having like support systems that are not always, you know, by choice, like that also really helps. But I think people need to get this idea out of their heads that like money, you know, will be the source. I do think money does bring happiness, but only up to a certain point.
Do you have like any tips or tricks, like as someone who is usually feeling like in a state of happiness, that if you wake up and you're just not having a good day, or if like your day turns, is there something that you do that helps get you out of a funk?
I think that's just being human. And I think what I think about in those moments, because I mean, I wake up and now especially going off birth control, my hormones are fucking wild. Like sometimes I'm crying for no reason. Sometimes I'm sad for certain reasons that are not that big. And I think that's just part of being human, that you're not always going to feel joy. You're not always going to feel happy, but that doesn't mean you're not living in a constant state of happiness. Like the days where I'm stressed or upset or angry or devastated, I'm still thinking like I'm a happy girl and I live a happy life. And that's just part of being human. And honestly, I don't have any tips to get out of that apart from feel the feelings. Like you have to feel them.
Yeah.
And actually I wrote something on my phone. I don't have my phone, but it was something like it's quite cute. I wrote to myself, I'm convinced I was born to feel everything, which is like this pain shows me that I was born to feel everything. Because you're going to cry.
Yeah. No, it's nice.
Like I was in a moment where I was sad and I wrote that down and I was like, this just shows that I was born with, I'm convinced I'm the person that has the most love and most feelings to give. Like I have so many feelings that I don't have the name for, like feelings that I'm like, how do not everyone feel this? Like, why aren't we talking about it? So I think you just have to feel them. Like you have to plow through.
Yeah. I have a friend, he had been kind of like on and off with like a woman he was seeing, and then they finally broke up, and like every day he just is like spiraling out, and he'd call me, he's like, I just don't want to feel like this anymore. And I was like, it'd be pretty weird if you didn't feel anything. Feel it. Like you'd be kind of a freak.
Yeah. I think what would help, which I think we discussed before we can't do, is it would be helpful to be able to compartmentalize. But I can't do that. I cannot compartmentalize things.
Yeah.
Like, I can't go through a devastating situation in the morning and then go to work and everything be fine. Like, I'm the person that would call up to work and be like, I can't come in.
Yeah.
I've been reading a book. I forgot who the author is. I think she's called Susan Hill. No, I don't know who it is by. It's called Invisible ADHD, and it has really shown me how my ADHD brain works. Like, every page I'm like, that's me. And not being able to compartmentalize is actually a trait of ADHD. Like, everything's muddled and you go for the most stimulating thought or the most stimulating thing, but everything's still muddled and you don't have these boxes inside your head of like, I'm upset here, but I'm going to go to work and show up and be this. Like, you just can't. Everything's just like firing in like the same direction in the same area of your brain.
I wonder if I have ADHD.
Honestly, I think you do. I just didn't want to diagnose you because for about 20 episodes, you've been like, I have not got ADHD. But I'm going to give you this book.
I want to read the book.
It's called Invisible ADHD Tips for Smart Yet Scattered Women. And I think you're a smart yet scattered woman like me.
Yeah, I do. I do think I am. I've been really feeling that lately.
Yeah.
I think I've been feeling it my whole life.
Let's do a test too, with like a therapist.
Do I do an online test?
We'll talk about it offline.
Okay.
So let's wrap this up here. Devon's going to go get an ADHD test. If you want to ask us any more questions on happiness, we'd be glad to do another episode.
Yeah. Love you. Bye.